Well, they are calling it a miracle on the mound. A 74-year-old local pitcher collapsed while pitching at the National World Series in Florida.
My goodness. Let's go over to Dave Grashoff for the rest of the story.
Yeah, actually the team was winning 8-4. They were playing a team from Baltimore in Florida at the Roy Hobbs National Championships. This pitcher had struck out 2 batters when his teammates were throwing the ball around. He collapsed on the mound. Who is he? What's his story? Take a look.
Hello, I'm Hal Young. I'm 74 years old and I play for the Sacramento Dodgers. Everything that happened that morning and that day is a complete blank. But I was told I was pitching the 4th inning.
He had just struck out 2 guys and Hal collapsed on the mound, on the backside of the mound.
It was just terrifying to see him, face first down on the mound.
He had no pulse.
Then they brought the defibrillator out and they hooked that up and they shocked him one time, and Hal's 150 pounds soaking wet. He came off, his whole body came off the ground.
The next thing I remember, I was in the hospital later that evening. When I came to, they had me kind of in an induced coma. Well, it turned out when they finally did the angioplasty, they found I had blockage 90%.
Hal's kids were going to have to make a tough decision that day whether to take him off the life support stuff. That night, his kids started showing up, and one of his kids called Jeff and says, "Come down to the hospital. I think something you want to see." Hal was coherent. Jeff walked in and he said, "Who am I?" And Hal says, "You're my catcher."
But as it turns out, it was a miracle. I mean, it was definitely a miracle. So.
It was really tough. I mean, you go from, playing ball every day to, being in a hospital bed. As between the surgery and time in the hospital, it was about a month.
Hal, he's a fighter.
Slowly but surely, I've been able to work at it and get back into halfway decent shape.
But we've always said, hey, if I'm going to go, I'd rather go out here on the baseball field than sitting in a recliner chair or on the couch at home.
Knowing how weak he was afterwards and trying so hard, this is really an amazing comeback to see what he does.
And we had a bat made up that all the guys that were there that day, we had it engraved, and it called it Miracle on the Mound.
If I drop again, don't worry about recessing me. I'd rather go on the field than go a long, slow death, put it that way.
Overall, pretty amazing. This actually happened last November, and here we are, September, and he's already back and playing. I shot that story on Wednesday, and he's already back and playing. Played very well the other day on Wednesday, and he'll play this weekend in the heat. There's a big tournament going on all throughout Sacramento, the Capital City tournament. They're going to be playing in the heat, but he's still going to be playing all weekend.
What a guy. We're so lucky he's still around. Thank you so much, Dave. Appreciate that, man.
Yep. Okay, thanks.
All right.